button, right?
Right. So you put it in tree, simply put. Or say a jimisem a batabo frakuma hua. Yeah, the intenswa ba in a white jimmy any feel. You see, the holy books even talks, and I know that my brothers and sisters in the Muslim also have the same.
Yeah.
Because as human beings, we will go off, we will go wayward. And sometimes we don't need verbal communication. You need discipline. You need to cane the person for them to feel the pain. That is why in the army, people are being disciplined. People are slapped. If you go wrong, you'll be slapped. It's part of it. Why can't you go to the army and tell them that they should remove slapping out of their discipline or their training? You see, because in the army, they will tell you that 10% casualty is allowed. If you go to training school, before you are 60 people, and before you complete and 10 is gone or 6 is gone, it's up to them, it's okay. It's allowed. And we have to watch this in our space. We are the citizens, we put the people up there to oversee and control or make, what do you call it, make laws for us. If we think that is not helping, we have to tell them that bring what will make our children, be good kids and have civilized up there, so that can help the society. You understand?
Okay. Let me go to Lady Aisha. Lady A, you grew up in the barracks. How was it like? The discipline. How was it like? Do you think that in this day and age, parents are disciplining their children as it should, or we are just over pampering our children?
For a barracks girl, and I'll forever be one. Some people, sometimes when you are trying to instill those kind of morals in people, they look at you like, oh, you're old school. Some will even say it to your face. Okay, it's fine. The old school is what you are saying, and you admire it, and you wish to be, but it didn't just happen. It took a lot of discipline to be where some of us find ourselves. So I am not, this abuse thing we're talking about in high schools, they go beyond just physically, like Samuki said. I mean, verbally, we are bullying. The children are being bullied. We even now, by the prevalence of social media, we have the cyberbullying as well.
Yeah.
So people are bullying people on the internet, by emails and the rest, threatening, harassing, and all that. You don't even get to see or know who is bullying you, but they are saying all sorts of things, defamatory things to you, and you're hearing them, and you are helpless. So all of them is causing a lot of, havoc to the society. And to think that they take you to school in the context of what we're discussing, because we're talking about the high school.
Yeah.
What is your business in school? To go and learn. So let's even assume that you've been over-pampered at home. Let it stay in your home. Don't bring it to the school.
Yeah.
Your only business in school is to learn. And so you would also, by virtue of going to learn, would not make it uncomfortable for somebody else who came there for that purpose and nothing else. So because then you derail them from the purpose of them also being there, because they are sharing a space with you. You make it uncomfortable for them to also be there. In your status, wherever you come from, you happen to find yourselves in the same place. You make it convenient for all of you to, stay there. So I think that, yes, I agree with him when he says that parents are to be blamed, because I remember my daughter was in Wesley Girls. I'll mention the name of the school. And there was one of the visiting days I was there, and they've been assigned, that time she was in Form 1, they've been assigned, roles. So they were supposed to be cleaning the bathroom and the toilets. And she, for about 2 hours, after they rang the visiting bell, I'm expecting to see her. I've driven all the way from Accra to Cape Coast to go and see my child, and for 2 hours, she's not coming out. And so later on, a friend of hers came to tell me that, it's because she hasn't finished with her assigned chores, and that is why she has. I said, she hasn't been punished. They said no, but she hasn't finished, and so that is why. So eventually, when she joined me, I asked the princess, why? Like, how come you took this while? Like I said, Mommy, because the other person that I have been paired with to clean with me chose not to clean because she said that it's not something she does at home, so she can't do it in school. Here, come and see. I flipped. And I said, take me to your house mistress. How dare she? Who does she think she is? She thinks she's a princess. You're my princess too. I mean, don't give me that kind of moves that my child is okay to clean the toilet so that you can go and use it. But your child is not. So, you know, and it's not her fault. That is what she's been taught. So she thinks that, but you can do that in the house, where your house elves can clean your toilet bowl for you and all that. But when you come to school, learn to do it yourself. And so it is the morals and the discipline and the teachings of it is what matters. She hasn't been taught. So for her, she felt that by saying, and because she, my daughter, knows the right thing to do, and she knows that if she doesn't do it, she will be punished. And if I also go by the same way that she's, or the attitude that she's also taking,
the job will not be done.
And we'll both get punished. Then I'll do it. And
now,
I said,
now
no.
let me chip in. I think
I said, no, never do that again. Report her. The next time she does that, report her. I took her to the house mistress and I told her, this is it. That child is not better than my child. And so if she's going to be using the toilet and the washroom, then I don't care wherever she's coming from, she needs to learn to do the needful.
I
and
think
so
that
the woman immediately called her. She came, apologized to my girl, and she was also given another task to do. Do you understand? So it starts from home before you take it to school.
I think the
Do you
issue of
understand?
superiority, I just want to add something quickly
Yeah.
to what you said. I realized that was why back in the days they had like achimota sandals, we have
Yeah.
school uniforms, so that we all look the same in the school.
It's-
So
it's
nobody is
there these
higher
days. Now,
than,
it's
you
still
know.
there these
But
days.
it looks like even though it is there, people don't understand why that was the case. We are supposed to have a level playing ground where we are all the same. We live in a society amicably, and we learn from the SHS, so that when we move outside the
Shine
school,
and
Fine,
you
it will
don't
shock
go.
you to know that even the children from rich families do not misbehave.
Oh, they do. Not all,
as
but
in
they
much
do.
terms
as-
of bullying
They do.
compared to those who are not even rich.
When it
Those
comes
are
to
not
Yeah,
the
they
bullying,
do.
it's not
There's
even
no
about the
ratio
rich people.
to that, but
No, that's what I'm
you might
saying,
have a
that
point.
there are 2 points. People
Yes.
behave differently. Either the person feels extremely superior, and I have so many, because I attended Engelbert. I have so many examples of that.
That's what the rich
In fact,
kids,
there are
Charlie.
people, you know,
It's
after
only a
school,
few of them.
you know,
It's only they feel
you see,
entitled.
and then
but just a few
you
of
know
them.
that even after
This
school,
bullying,
um,
and you for makwa bully.
And American.
no, but I'm saying that
Not from the.
It's from the upbringing
You see,
and where they are coming
Well,
from.
okay, do you think that
I think it's where they are coming from.
as parents, because you cannot tell me that you've not seen signs of your child being a bully right from childhood. We see it in the homes, the way they react towards their friends, their siblings, their cousins, and all that. You can see the tendencies in there. So, do you think that as parents we just overlook or we neglect the fact that no, this child, I'm seeing something in you. If I don't check it, when he or she grows, he or she can become a bully in future.
the answer is in two folds.
Yeah.
One, it could be yes. Two, it could be oversight. The yes is where some parents think that when their children are misbehaving, it makes them feel superior because of that.
But that's the point I was coming to, that you can't say rich people's kids are few who don't.
No,
If you go,
they do.
exactly,
Yes,
because
look,
it is the bad
look.
upbringing that brings about that.
Yes, you see-
How many poor people are pampered in their homes?
No.
You
But
get it.
Frank,
You
Frank,
can't have
for the
statistics
poor-
to prove
for the
that. So let's
statistics.
not go that tangent. It doesn't work like
don't say
that.
How many poor people are being pampered?
Because we were sounding like
it's
we
not just about
are
the
leaving
pampering.
the rich people
No,
out
no,
of
no,
that.
no.
It's a canker there, and it must be pointed out. That's my point.
If you watch what is happening now, we are not saying that people from poor background might not end up misbehaving. But if you look at the numbers, anybody who comes from a very humble home, ne maame akasa kyerɛ na ne papa ma na sonson ne ho. Okwa asa na yedi kan ka kyerɛ okwa meba I'm coming. Look, my son is in Preston. I don't want to, but I'm saying that I've grew up on secondary school campus, and I've seen behavior of students, and I went to boarding house myself. Most of the times, the rich kids, most of them, Most of them. You see, the problem is because their parents are normally not at home.
Them.
It's either by work, they are always traveling, they are always on the move. So they are left in the hands of house helps and drivers to take care of them. You see, so they don't really have that parental upbringing. And some too are left with their grannies. And few ones.
Do you know who I am? You know?
And a check it on another.
See,
Surprised people have not seen a poor child.
No,
we are not saying.
I'm telling you. I went to Infantiman Girls. There are people from Adisco and stuff. We know what they do.
All these kids, some of them are from good homes, some of them are from poor homes. They all do misbehave. But we are saying that the canker now starts from the overly pampered rich kids.
Exactly. And you see, let me cut in here. Even where the seniors aid them. So when they also become seniors, even they as your mates misbehave towards you or bully you because the senior self. I have a personal experience. When I was at Infantiman, I was in the dorm. Then they called one girl who is perceived as rich at the time. And a senior ate with her in Asanka, you know, and Edinburgh Airport. And she called me to go and wash the dish. Oh, someone kitted a menu. You get it? But Ayobia, somebody who is timid, will do it. Do you know what they are telling you? Oh, you're special. That person is special. So they become Form 2, Form 3, and then they want to bully their mates. They want to bully the juniors. The rich have a big problem when it comes to this thing. It's a very
so
huge
the problem. You see, this is how it should be approached. All the schools should have a zero tolerance for bullying, where anti-bullying measures will be sent out clear that these are the consequences. Before you bring your children to school, you are told that if your child commits this offense, this is going to be the punishment. If you think you are too big to oblige to the rules and regulations of that school, you find yourself out. That is how it's supposed to be done.
Don't we see favoritism creeping in?
That's why I'm saying that.
Even bribery.
That's why I'm saying
We
that.
find it creeping in.
We put our foot down to do this.
Exactly.
And the headmasters need the support of the Ghana Education Service
Yes.
to back them.
Yeah.
To support them. You see, they come threaten the headmasters and senior house masters that, hey, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, so I'll take you to court. And so what?
Because
Your child cannot be so special from other people's children. If you think you have money, why do you bring your child to this
Why
school?
don't you train him in the house?
In the house.
Because
So
you see,
until-
what Wofake, I want to add to what you are saying, and sorry I'm cutting in,
no, that's
is
fine.
the fact that when we went to school, we knew who everybody's father was and mother.
Yeah.
Lady A, their child, all her friends know. Lady A, don't you know? Lady A's. So it brings this thing about them, and they walk, on high horse in the school, and they make it. So
it's a discipline thing.
That's
So you see,
the
the
point.
approach. This is how the approach is supposed to be. So
You know that is my child, but she's very disciplined.
when I told I've already from the infant. I tell my children, I normally pay regular visit to my kids' school. I'll go sit with their class teachers, especially. Oh, how is your performance? In which area? How is he doing? What's the attitude, general attitude on campus and school? If there are problems,
I
they tell
like that
me.
question. What's the general attitude on campus?
Yes, and then also I always tell their teachers that, Jack, men are me banono. But you say a mama, but Odin say who guano.
I said the same
Guano
thing.
6. No guano at the my child guano at the right place. What I wouldn't want is to just hit my child anywhere. Missing guano. And I tell you, Sammy, I've told your teacher. I've told them that if you misbehave, they should discipline you.
And the bad thing is that the children now know that the teachers cannot cane them.
Yes.
So it makes them.
Oh, here
stubborn.
you but teacher,
I think 2 weeks ago I said the same thing to my son's teacher. I said this boy is not doing this, he's not doing that, he's doing this. I'm like, I am giving you the permission.
Yeah.
Beat him if you have to. Discipline him if you have to. Hey, Madam Debio, I'm like, no, he is my son. I don't have any problem with that. I don't believe in men Kwalana. I don't believe in that. I said, the boy was standing right there. I said, if you misbehave again, I'm giving your teacher the opportunity.
I think even the boy knowing that you've said this will even behave.
I said,
That is how it's supposed to be.
He must discipline you to the core.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm not like those other parents. If you misbehave, I'll let them.
And some of the things that some of the parents are doing is that because they don't get time for their kids. You see, it's not money that answers
So
everything.
that was my next. That was going to be my next question. That Lady A, do you think that in this generation of parents, we are so fixated on making money, materialistic things, so much so that we are not monitoring our children. We are not spending time with our children. We don't even know who our children's friends are. We don't know what our kids are watching even on YouTube. Because some of these bullying thing, it will shock you to know that there are videos of some of these things on YouTube that these children watch. So are we so fixated on money? Both mother and father, they leave home at 5 a.m. and come back sometimes 8:30, 9 p.m. When you come, you are tired, you are going to sleep. What time will you get to see what is really going on in your child's life? Do you think that the quest for money or materialism is contributing to this canker?
You know, I'm very passionate, and I can also be very emotional about this topic because, you know, I see a lot of children, and I get very sad, you know, because I also see a lot of friends, I mean, who want the best for their children, and because of that, they are failing in their responsibilities as parents. Parenting, and every child is different.
Exactly
so
my point.
Even with twins, you can't treat them the same.
Yeah.
So it is a 24-hour job. Parenting, it's a big deal, and so I get very emotional about it when I see that, you know, because if you train a child in the proper way, no matter where they find themselves, because you've instilled good morals in them, principles in them, that is what they go by. So wherever they find themselves, they will live by those principles, and it is very important. You don't expect a teacher to instill morals and discipline in your child. They are adding up to your work.
Yes.
But that work is yours to make, because you want your child to rise up and see you as their first role model before they go and pick somebody on social media as their role model. So if you want your child to see you as that, be that role model. And it starts from home, where you instill morals and discipline in them. I find it very excusable when you say that, oh, I am so busy, and so because of that, I couldn't do A, B, C, D. And you said here. And you don't, personal, that is how you should take your work personal. You know, when my son and my daughter were in Morning Star, when I go to the school, I know how the girl is, and I know how the boy is. So when they tell me, when I go every end of the year, the term for their reports, and they tell me, oh, because I sit with them, oh, and Hakim did ABC, I will laugh. And I will tell them, you are not telling me anything I don't know. Because what's so no, but no way you you are not surprised.
Yeah.
And when they tell me things about the girl too, I know, because that is. But we are in a. I'm not saying this to say that I am the best parent or no. But it's
Try your
it's
best.
Do your
something
best.
I make it my business. So I because I can, you know, I've said this to people that are close to me, that I can fail in any business venture I put
cannot
myself,
fail as a
but I
mother.
can never. That is how personal I take my responsibility as a parent, you know. So I can never fail there.
What's
Do you
what's more, I
understand?
know what that's for.
Yeah.
But that share, want to share ni. No, so it's not something you find, you know, and you are with your kids. I'm holding my phone. The same phone that you are using. And I'm like, okay.
We are overdoing it.
They love you.
Yeah.
You can't have a child and hate them, but let your children be children.
But I think Aisha,
Parents should allow their children to go through the ropes
The
of
process.
just enjoying being children.
I think that
and
people
don't fast
live,
track them.
I think parents live through their kids lately. And my sisters and I, we always say that. We live
It's a
through
shame.
the children.
It's a
Like,
shame.
okay, when I was young, I
But
didn't
I
get
am
this,
coming back
I
to your
didn't
power.
get that, I didn't get this. So my kids must get it. So
They
this
will
phone-
get it.
And then you
But
keep giving them
with
material
decorum.
things and
They
not,
must get it with
you
decorum.
know, disciplining
They must
them.
get things with by earning it. Sure.
Exactly.
As a Barras girl, my dad will tell you, I thank God for their lives, my parents, because they instill certain morals in us that is being our guide throughout our lives. And I mean, with Mazabamo, Eboa, you know, like it's, I don't know any other way, you know, and I see how it's helped almost every child that I have been a part of their lives. And so it wasn't a bad thing after all.
IDK.
It wasn't.
You were coming up with a point.
Yeah, so it's, you
the
see,
money bit.
one of the things we also have to take notice of is that the upbringing should be, depend on what your faith is.
Sure.
It's all part of it.
So religion plays a part.
Yes, religion.
Oh,
The reason why you cannot be unconcerned and say Sundays, I'm going to play football, I'm going to drink, I'm going to eat a muto is good. Make sure you wake up in the morning, you say some prayers, do some morning devotions. Keep talking to them with the Bible. If it's the Quran, whatever, Bhagavad Gita, whatever the faith is. But I'm a Christian.
But the time bit she mentioned.
So, yes. So,
It's a way of spending time with your children.
Yes.
No, but she's
And
saying we don't have
instilling
time.
that-
So in a realistic world now where we don't have time, what
So
do
we
you
should
do?
make the time.
You have to make it.
I'm coming. I'm
You have
saying
to
that
make the time.
parenting should be a deliberate effort.
Right.
Yes.
You understand? So you can't just take chances. Once you are able to, you see, you are the first role model to your children. You and your wife, to your children. They want to be like daddy. They want to be like mommy. But after all, there are certain times that children ask for something, you deny them.
Yes.
Even if you have the
Intentionally.
ability to give.
Let them end.
When my children ask for things that I think is not needed immediately, I say, when the time is right, I'll let you have it.
That's
but I
right.
don't. You see, how many times do you check to find out what your children are watching on
The
the phone?
search history. We need to check their search history.
You have to. And you see, I will never, I am holding an Android phone.
Na makoto mo acha na mazi
And I will
mzambo.
not buy an expensive phone. My
Hey.
little boy, who is 9, Esther is 13, going to 4, Kwame is going to 18. It's only Kwame who owns a phone.
phone.
That's it.
After 10 o'clock, Sanya research of no, you have to keep
You
that
have to
phone.
put it-
I pick it.
Yeah.
Intermittently, I'll just sneak chance on him. I pick the phone. Then I'll look at what. It's always good to also guide them. And also, you put, now these days, if you go to these phone guys, they'll be able to put these things on that they cannot go to certain
Okay, so yeah, it
areas.
restricts them.
You have to
Even on
restrict
their
them.
laptops.
It's important to restrict them.
Even on their laptops.
All these things you see, some parents they see the beauty of my child is holding the latest phone, is wearing the latest
honey
boots.
assembly.
No, you see, you are over pampering the child, and you are not helping the child. All this upbringing should start from the home. And also let them understand that they should respect whoever they come across. Their own
Whether
peers,
young or old.
their own peers, they should respect them. And you see, allow people to also check your children positively.
It takes a village.
It helps. You are living in an area because you are rich than everybody. You don't talk to anybody. You move your car. You don't even greet.
Bahobium.
You don't even know your next door neighbor. When you have a problem and you are not at home, who do you want to attend to your children? It is good though. That's the essence of our extended family trade those days. That was the reason why when we were growing in the village way back, Christmas we would go with our cousins and all our aunties, 15, 20, togetherness.
If you're back
All
after
these
COVID-19,
things-
yeah,
all
yeah,
these things was for a reason and for a
Probably the
purpose.
Benebai.
Well, but sa mateme ho afi abusuanim me na me you're right. Me na me you okay.
We are all living
Me
in
na me
world
you okay.
houses
Me na me
now.
dey me back the best school. Etimi nua we ba will say no, you see you are not helping
tia me
matters.
ba.
We don't it is not good. And let's empower our teachers to help
Let's
bring
give them
our
all the support
yes,
they need.
to help bring our children up in the right
Because
direction.
usually from 8 to like 4
Oh.
before school closes, they are in the care of these teachers.
Yeah.
So during all those hours, you are trying to tell me that these teachers cannot control your children for you.
You asked us, you said something. It's not that the people from poor home cannot misbehave, or some of them don't. They do. Sometimes you might have, or even from the rich home, you might have a very good child, But when it goes out there because of friends, peer pressure,
Yes.
are you monitoring your
That's
child to
what
find
makes them
out
do that.
who is his friend or her friend?
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
wanted-
said.
It is very important to be
You
sure.
know their friends.
But you see,
Because-
all this is ideal situation where the family is ideal. I'm sure if we start that conversation, we are not ending now, so probably we want to take a break. When we come back, then we'll continue with that.
So, all right. So I'm sure you're also delving deep as we are here in the studios. It's been educative, informative, and entertaining. We will take a break right now. We'll be back after the break. And we are back. This is the Opinion TV show. Before we left off, we were talking about how parents can contribute or the role they play in this menace of bullying in our wards. But in instances where we don't have the traditional setup, where the father and mother are there present to play a role, and you are living with, let's say, stepmother, single parenting, grannies, and all that, what do we do, Sangmoki?
Yeah, I think that, and that's a very good point we are bringing in here, because we spoke about the idealistic kind of
Family
setting.
setup.
And in fact, one was saying he goes to his son or who is 18, and then you take the phone, you check on it, you find out what's going on at random. But in the instance where the person is illiterate, what happens? The person is single parent, doesn't have money at all, very poor, struggling to take the kids to school, and then the children now are tech survey, and then they know better than you. How do you pick their phones and check? You don't even know where to go. In fact, you are even calling them to help you with yours. And you are asking,
Check
me
your Momo
pacho
for
be
you."
sending me momo check mami. Obi na me who send message via babeda so share
Hi,
mami.
mommy.
So they know that they can outwit you, they
Yeah,
can outsmart
outsmart
you.
you.
They even know more than we do. I like the fact that you said you can take it to these experts who put codes on it, because maybe you can't put the code on it yourself. Because no matter how we try to be in time, it's very difficult to keep up with the trends lately. Even with TikTok, when you go there, you realize that most of these girls who speak profane languages there, the kind of homes they are standing at tells you where they are coming from, to be honest. Sometimes I see, by some gutter, some unpainted building and all that, and I could just tell that way ni fie nye. So nobody has that time to check anything, and they know the kind of homes they are coming from. So when they do that, they don't care, because their parents are not there. Maybe their parents are not even taking care of them. They are hustling to, do the SHS all by themselves. So in discussing this, I feel like when it comes to that, for me, I think the church should play, or the religion should play a key role here, and also the teachers as well. When Aisha made her submission earlier, she said when her child was in Morning Star, you know your child. So when you go there and they mention something about your child, you are not surprised, okay? And it tells you the teacher also knows your child, because the teacher is observing. When I was in school back then, primary school, my report card, I normally check what they write there, like likes reading, likes
It's very
this,
important as a parent.
exactly.
That's
Parents,
the observation
but
of the
now
teacher.
it's like, if the person doesn't, if the parent doesn't know much, they don't know how that is relevant. Maybe they can't even read. Some of the children don't bring their reports home. But the teacher, knowing the child, engaging the child, finding out, ono why nete, ono mame nete, ono papa nete, ono nana nete. That psychological bit they learn in school should be able to help them understand the type of child they are dealing with, so that they know the kind of attention they will give to that particular child. Some children are not loved at home. They come to school, engaging them, you know that, no, this child lacks some love at home. So what do I do to help the child? Maybe even engaging the parents wouldn't be good enough, because if it's a step, then it's a problem. But then you find your own way to discipline the child, talk to the child and all that might help psychologically. So I think that's where we can start from.
Lady A, you let's hear you.
I think that, like I've said already, I think that we should put more effort in our responsibility as parents. And so I instilled in my kids certain things that before you get certain things, you have to earn it. And see, like he said, the phone thing. 12 years, you get a phone. And there are rules on my phone. So Monday to Friday, you don't have access to it. Friday after school, you get your phone. Sunday by 3:30, the phone must come back to me. It has finished its job. It needs to come back to me. I go through my children's school bag randomly. I'll just check what is in the school bag. Did I put it there? Another, whatever is there, did I buy it for that child? Because you need to be a part of their dealings, whatever it is. You need to know their friends, and you should know where your children are, and all those things. It is not that you are monitoring them. When it gets to the point where when you develop that kind of relationship with them, it makes it easier for them to come to you and not to their friends when they have any challenge as well. So it is a conscious effort to build that kind of relationship.
So
with
if
your
the
children.
mother and the father are not, let's say some are outside.
And I will also say this because you made that
mentioned
point right
something, I
now
wanted
that
to-
about single parenting and all that. I can tell you for free that single parents do the most because you are doing the job of both parents, and most children that have come out of single parenting even turn out better.
Better.
They turn out better than children who are coming from both parents. Trust me.
Yeah.
I say that with all humility, and I can.
What you're
I
saying.
know what I'm saying most times because there's more work for you to do as a mother or as a father because you want your child to turn out right. So to each their own. But it is like I said, it is how you have accepted that responsibility of being a parent. It is how you yourself have accepted the responsibility and how far you are willing to go so that you turn out right and your child also turns out right. So it's the effort you also put in your child.
Okay.
When till now, my children are in the university. My sister, every academic term, I know their grades because we've all been to the university. You might choose not to even share those information because those information that is on their portal. I am not a student. How will I get access to
to the
it?
portal.
But I have it. I see it. So you still know how your children are faring.
Yeah.
So this is maybe a parent who is just in the business of her children. But for all that is worth, I need to know. Do you understand?
But let me come in here quickly. You see, sometimes when you raise things, we like to interject because
which is fine.
it looks ideal.
We are sharing
But
our
let me say,
opinions, so-
let me use my home as a personal example, okay? So my brother, my junior brother, and I know he'll kill me for this, but I'll say it.
Please pardon
So
us.
he completed uni last year. And he attended UPSC. And my sister is a course coordinator at UPSC and a lecturer at UPSC. So when the results were out, we kept asking after graduation, when he went to graduate, I was like, where are your results? He said, oh, the results are not in and what. We said, okay, no problem. And the results are not in. My mother kept asking, like, how? So I'm like, how do you graduate without results? Because Charlie, you go school with your baby. So how are you? Oh, my results are not in. We said, okay, no problem. Then my sister said, sang, and how cry?
Check it.
She just went on the net,
Yeah,
then
because
she coded.
she's there.
And then she got the results. It was like, she printed it and said, oh, junior results did he? Everybody saw what he got. It was like, oh, I didn't want you to know and all that because he felt he didn't do well enough. You
But was he
understand?
intending to rewrite or something?
No, he has no rewrite.
So-
but he just felt like maybe he
Why
needed
didn't
to
you
get
want to
a
show
better
it?
grade.
Okay.
And then he felt he was looking for the appropriate time to communicate what he
communicate it
had.
to you.
He wasn't too happy about what he got, okay? But we advised him, talked him into
Yeah.
starting his master's, so he's really started that. But my point is, if we had not been educated or hadn't
wouldn't
had the
have known.
system, and if you're a parent and you are not at
You are
that
busy,
level,
you don't have time. You don't
So
even-
it's the same thing I'm
Exactly.
saying.
that's why I said I was saying
Wow.
to buttress your point.
Yeah.
That,
I think-
not the
Papa,
best
I
outcome.
think- please come in.
You see, this show is also to educate.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we need to let people out there know there are ways to go about it. You don't necessarily have to be educated to be a parent.
Yeah.
Their parents.
We've seen parents who have never stepped to school. They can't
They've
even
raised
write this,
good
but
children.
they've raised good children.
They are
who are
scholars today.
scholars
They are
today.
whatever they
It is the
chosen.
discipline.
A discipline.
Because onimo be kwa kubusa ni teacher.
That is the
Onimo be
point.
kwa the next
But kwa
person.
kubusa.
Ati ni neighbor ni so power ya cratch o se o. Ejeku, won hwa de ma me
Maybe you say you
That is how sanity
You get a
are.
second opinion.
I know now we are parents.
Yes.
It is not being comfortable
Because
and saying
make it your
because
business.
I am uneducated and so how
Yeah,
no.
be.
Because the kids will
That
always
is an
make you feel
excuse.
you are not woke enough. The kids are
Even
like
as
that.
you are educated, no one can person.
Yes. So much fire so.
I'm person will beat you. I'm
Wa
person
na
make
ba
you.
be busa say topics
Aye.
way. Yeah, now I'm
Yes,
no,
They
I
want
don't
to.
do
They
that.
want to
Yeah,
beat
you
you
should-
to
I
it.
always want to find out. So
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
go to
I
the
will.
school
True or not?
to find out whether it is true or not. You understand?
You will tell me. I
And-
still want to
and-
know.
And you see, if
Latest
we
one,
don't
because they become
do,
obsessive.
if we don't do some of these things, these checks and balances, and we are okay with whatever our case tells us, no, we will not be helping them.
Because-
as parents, even sometimes when you are disciplining your children, you feel it. But that is the hallmark
That
of
is the
parents.
love. That is
And
the love.
Hard love.
You see,
you give it to them. Tough love.
You discipline them when the needs comes.
Yes.
And after that, you hug
embrace
them,
them.
you embrace them.
Done.
Dropping, be part of your children's upbringing. You say, for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been my policy when I'm around to always drop them at school. Drop them at school.
As you're going, you are talking.
I told my wife, I said, honey, because of your job, sometimes you have to wake up very early, drive. I am doing my own work now. You go. I will drop them.
Yeah.
Because after all, we were meetings, I isolate my meetings.
Yeah.
So I would drop them, hug them, goodbye. Sometimes even around, pick them. You understand? And I go, I engage all their teachers. I'm okay with their class teachers. I'm okay with their head teachers. I go to their schools and I engage them. So everybody knows me. Hey, Mr. Daku. So I have given them the free will, the teachers. And my children, I've told them, don't be afraid of me. If you can't tell me, you tell mommy. But try, I won't do anything to you. Look, if people, I will never do anything to you. I will always sit you down. And sometimes, if you're able to come out and when you do that, let your children see you as a father for all and an open parent.
Comfortable to discuss
To
things
discuss
with you.
things. That is when their peers cannot influence them negatively. You are the first to know when they are going. And see, know your children. So sometimes, as a parent, you need to be observant. The moment your child changes a bit, you are able to know
You see it.
that this is not coming from my home. Then there's an
Yes,
external influence. That is what makes you a smart parent.
Yes.
Then quickly you need to confront your child and say, hey, Jack, this attitude is not coming from my home. Where is it coming from? I know you picked it. What happened? Why this way? We're able to engage them not by screaming, by shouting, comfortably at their own. Sometimes I do one-on-one. The other time my boy was behaving, I sit him down, catch him, he said, no. Because I not do baby discipline. I'm a lucky dog. I'm calm, man, born with three. Let me go on. I'll bring the belly full out of you. You understand? So, after,
Periodically, they need that.
yes, after that, Charlie, the next morning, I called you and said, Jack, you know me and you'll be cool. That's not how they brought me up. That's how I'm able to be responsible and bringing you guys up. So, Charlie, I want to...
Mintie.
You know.
Now, IDK,
You know.
do you think that when these kids get into SHS, occultism plays a role in this attitude of bully and superiority and authority
Not only occultism,
and power and all
lesbianism
that?
and gayism and all those things you called it.
It makes them feel some sense of false power.
Cultism, you see, when that's why religion comes to play. If you don't teach them the way they should grow with the Bible or wherever, the Quran, that is where they will lack those disciplines. They will, well, you see, the convictions, once they have it, they always remember, even when they are being approached negatively, they say, oh, Sunday school, cry a chance idea when you. So because of that, it is good for us to, bring them up with religion, help them, let them come and love, the word. Let them appreciate the word. Because see, if you allow them to go have their own way, you might not know the spiritual effect or consequences the other person will imbibe into them. That is very critical. And we as parents have to admit, everybody has a weakness. All of us sitting here have our flaws. But the things that were not good for us, we should not allow our children to also pick it. You understand?
Let me chip in a quick story. When I was going to school, my mother and my auntie told me that when you go to school and you see somebody, I think they exaggerated though. Oko school now, who be that? School and all that. But because of what I was told, I was so afraid of every girl that you can't come to me and try to, you know, coax me into becoming a lesbian. But some did it in school and have even taken it far from there.
See, the danger is that some of these things, they need help, psychological helps. Some of these practice probably started with their house helps, housemates, you know, because you don't have the opportunity. So they imbibe that into them at a tender age without you even knowing, because you as a parent, you didn't have time.
That's the point.
So when they go and they find these friends and also push them into it, it becomes very difficult for them to opt out. It has gone to affect a lot of marriage up to now. People, I know of a story in an area I can't mention them, but there is a learned lawyer. The wife had a partner. I don't know who, but I had a partner somewhere.
A lesbian partner.
Yes, a married woman with kids. But on the other side, had a lesbian partner. I'm a bed posh house near the man or the sponsor. And sometimes and you see unknowingly to the man, all this, but we the people around the area, we knew of it. You could sit and some of these are our friends. And ladies confining now, we sit with them, you know, and their tenants, you know, and so it's sad. But they need help until they get it. Look, it's only God.
Yeah.
It's everybody, the weakness is there as man. So we have to thank our stars that when we are bringing these kids up, we need to bring them up in a way that they cannot depart from the truth. And also uphold the values of Christendom. That is the only way. So sometimes you feel tired to go to church, but because of the kids, you send them there for them to have a word, listen to the word. That it's only when sometimes you could find your kids going somewhere that when you group bim, I say no, maybe I meet him in cool. No, why? Because he remembers what he was told at church. Wow, and yet easy. Oh, and you know, sometimes you don't blame them, but we have to do our part as parents. We also have to allow the teachers to also tell us the things that they see. Ask questions, visit the teacher. Sometimes just visit them. Just you pay attention and say, oh, Charlie, I want to know about my kids. How are they doing? How is his performance, his attitude, his behavior? Let me know. And they know you are a parent, that you are open.
Basic thing as being part of a clique. That's where the problems begin.
Yeah.
Because when you say occultism and the child goes to school, because they are thinking occultism is maybe chanting and all of us going together to. No, I know. I'm saying that. I'm saying. Please, you don't get me. I'm saying it's there. But as simple as being part of a clique could lead you astray, even without you being part of an occult group. That's what I'm saying. Because all your friends are going out, breaking. You don't need to be part of an occult to break bounds. But if you are caught, you could be dismissed. You get it? You could stay back and say you are not going to worship or you are not going for church service. You don't need to be part of an occult to do that. But you are a clique. And because all your friends say we are not going, you know, you are not woke enough. So you say, oh, then my friends are not going, so let me be. You stay behind with them, and then the teacher comes and meets you and says that we are dismissing you because, or your friends say, oh, we are not going for intercore. Or maybe you go for intercore and then they have entertainment. We are not going for prep. We are not going for this. Or maybe you meet another school for intercore superzo and then you lost. Then they are like, you don't need to be part of a local to beat them. You can just because your clique are doing that, you can do that. So I'm saying sometimes when these things are happening, yes, they chant and all. I mean, when we're in school, we used to hear stories of other schools. I don't want to mention names, but they come and chew me. But then I think that simple being part of a clique, sometimes the children are not mature enough to know that these things my friends are doing are not good. And so let me not be part of them. And so that's where when you brought the teacher, that's where the teachers come in. And then the house mistresses and the headmasters. Because when you let they as a parent, you let them have interest in your child, they can tell you, oba no nan say
Oh,
oba
yes,
school
because they see them.
Oni akwa we nanti. Akwa we mempe ze no.
That's right.
Akwa we onu wi pa nti no mempe so be di nechi. You get it? You know, so some teachers will even tell you say akwa we onu minister we and say MP we but onu sika ofie party no mema on fa then because onu kwa say mu a ye be charge no but maybe your child cannot get that, so it's something that is important.
Peer pressure plays a major role.
Yes, it is.
You know, because you might have a child that is coming from a very good home,
peer
who will
pressure,
go to school, and peer pressure will set in, and so the level of confidence that was instilled in them, maybe Anna is not too they will fall for it. So again, parenting comes in again. In instilling morals and discipline and everything in your child. Let your child feel special. Let them have that self-confidence in themselves first. Because that is where Sanadam for Bikra man and Betsy as yes, Okra wonya Gaia. Me mama me papa some guy. So they are okay. If not, that is how peer pressure comes in, and then ba what it's in a kama. I wouldn't say a queer the old thing, now obeko school, and then unfortunately they will go and fall into this kind of peer pressure group, and then you hear things that they are saying about your child. You don't believe it, but unfortunately it will be true. You know, obi anywhere ne banyo obi abaye. You know, but you still want to say akola bonne da also na wonim parenting. And also na also wonim akola until your child gives you a shock. You understand? So instilling them. You do a follow up. So you go to school, because house mistress and the teachers are the ones that eventually get to know your child, because they spend more time in school than they will if they were in like primary school, that they go and come back to you in the house. So let them make them their business, because they get to know them more. See, like we said, no, they will be able to identify the bad one from the good ones. So if your child is associating with a bad student, they should be able to tell you and question. And because you've given them the rights, they will now be able to even pick a phone and tell you that, I think you should come and talk to your child because of A, B, C, D. That is if they have spoken to him or her and they are not, listening. So it plays a role. But from the time you give birth to a child until you leave this world, they are your business. Only one bra said then still buy asam for awesome. So you need to make them your business.
One quick one. Again, you see, this practice of having house helps, it's not a bad idea.
No, that wahala.
But so I keep telling my wife, I applaud her a lot. I say, look, my last boy is 9. When he got to 5, we stopped from having any house help. Since that time till now, my boy at the age of 5 years, in fact 4 years, my wife started, you wash your own school socks, your underpanties and your singlet. Now, from the age of 5 up to now, even now, 8 years now, we see the school uniform, we see the BBR, we are wato. And that boy, you see, and I think it's what you put them through. So I keep telling my wife, Charlie, honey, you've trained these kids. Why are they? But sometimes I'm not there. But when I'm there, but look, Saturday morning, so we don't use the washing machine often. It's a deliberate attempt for them to learn how to wash. So now they wash. My boy went to school pre-sec. He came by and said, look, Daddy, there was a guy in a school. The mother bought white shirt in Kwan 20. Kaki trousers in Kwan 20 because onim adesi. Osha tade ba Kwan. No waje go.
But IDK, even if you have helps, you should make it a conscious effort.
That's what I'm saying. That
to train the
that's what I'm
saying.
That's what I'm saying. That even when the kids get to a certain stage, involve them in the house chores. Share for them. Today you sweep the hall. You mop the kitchen. Okay,
it's a training.
You go and slash the onions for me. You go and you teach them all these things so that they will become
self-employed.
I remember my dad.
I grew up more with my mom and my dad at the age of when we were going to secondary school. Myself and my sibling, my brothers, we prepare our own shit off. At the age of 8 years,
Really,
I enjoy cooking. Even as I'm here. I go to Kaswa. My name is Master Richard. We all live in Kaswa area. We go to my Omnimi Empire. Me shop it. Me go my wife. My baby. It's when I have the time, I will do it. So I think that, so I don't even wait for, when I'm hungry, I'll cook, I can stand prepared 2 different stews.
I think that will lead to where Aisha was,
it
that
helps.
your daughter had the
It
problem
helps.
with her colleague.
Yeah.
Maybe the child doesn't do anything.
She
at
doesn't
all.
do
It doesn't
anything
do
at
anything.
home.
There's
Nah,
20 pairs of shirts and child and the things, and then you
The child
see
is
them
carrying none.
use nothing. And I because I did not understand it.
Maybe I-
Like, what are you teaching your child?
Don't
You know,
All
because-
right.
no mentasi.
I
You
know.
know, and then
Pull the
they
brakes.
pick their laundry and take it home
Yeah.
for them, and then bring
wash
them
it and bring
clean
it back.
clothes.
Wow.
Because this school they don't wear. What
It's
is going on?
happening. It's going on.
And it's happening. And I'm
It
like,
is
what is
happening.
going
There
on?
is respect.
So why won't a
Respect.
child tell my daughter that, hey, baby, I'm not going to show free back? But it's because of the
Discipline,
training and the discipline that she has been given. That is why you think that you have an upper hand on her, but you do not have any upper hand
All
on her.
right, all
You
right,
do
all
not.
right. Pull the brakes, pull the.
Hey,
You are
they're
getting
not-
too passionate.
No, I told you already. I cannot stand it. Like,
All right,
really.
viewers, we will take a quick break. We will be back shortly. Please stay. And we are back. All right, so our hack for the day. Are you ready? Are you ready for the hack of the day?
Yes.
All right, so in case you have tummy ache, stomach ache, just do this simple thing. Take charcoal, okay, grind charcoal, and just take it in and drink some water, and you will be fine. In some instances, you can add a little bit of salt, grind it together, and drink it. Voila. In some few minutes, you will be fine. Just try it.
If symptoms persist after 3 days,
Consult
consult
your-
your doctor.
Don't say I didn't tell you.
Well, since
Lady-
we're talking about taking in something with hearts today, then in the same vein, if you are having an upset stomach or running stomach, as we call it, and you know it's not going away, just get your Coke, put in some salts, and digest it, and
You should be
All
fine.
right.
within a few minutes
You will be fine.
you'll be fine. This one
Yeah, that is worse.
it's been tested
Oh yeah, all the
so
time.
many times, and I can tell you for free,
Natural ORS.
It works.
Artificial.
it works and it works.
All right, so before we
Yes.
wrap up, few seconds each.
And this one, Carter, you can use it more if you're pregnant. You know, when you're
Ish,
pregnant, you
ish.
can't take in a lot of medications.
Yeah.
So if you're pregnant and you're for whatever reason you had something eating, and because I learned that when I was pregnant
Oh,
through
okay.
a doctor friend of mine who they wouldn't give me any medication because it was not normal, the kind of running. So they said, no, we can't give you medications, but this is how we can be helped. Coke with salt.
Sang,
Trust
I'm
me,
coming
and it
to
really
you.
works.
Few seconds. So let's say you've encountered a child who has been bullied before in school, or someone listening to us right now who has encountered bullying. How do you help the person, or what do you say to the person to gain or come out of that trauma? Sometimes it can be very traumatic. What do you tell the person to come out of that trauma?
For me, I want to act as if I'm a psychologist. So the first point of all will be go for therapy. I think schools then should have people, experts
guiding
there
and
to
counseling section.
to guide the children and not be judgmental about that. And also churches should do that. So that's how I'll go about it.
IDK.
I think to help, us keep this bullying thing, the teachers, there should be frequent monitoring at playgrounds, at entertainment, during prep on isolate games, sports games. I mean, dormitories.
Yeah, washrooms.
There should be, and the washrooms, there should be regular inspection and checks. And also, they should have forums where they will talk to students about bullying so that they can desist from. And then also have an open door policy that students can confine, train some of the students to become leaders in that, so that if they can't go to the
Teacher.
they can go to that
Some of the student leaders.
and then they can help some of these people who
Lady
have
A,
challenges.
how do we help a child who has been bullied or is experiencing bullying in SHS?
We should encourage them to speak up, and we should be kind, to them. We should create a safe environment where, these children can comfortably and conveniently come and, be heard and be listened to. Is very important. And there's nothing that the Word of God also doesn't do. So we should always try to give them this advice with the Word of God as well. So I think that we should be there and be supportive for them, so that together they can, get that safe place and also be able to speak up. It's very important.
So you heard it. You heard our guests. You heard our my fellow co-hosts. Please, as parents, let's be involved in the upbringing of our children. Let's not overlove them to distraction. We are begging you. And GES, please bring back corporal punishment.
Advocates.
To bring some decency and sanity in our SHS, okay? We are begging you. This has been the Opinion TV show. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. See you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.